From the genius that brought you Child Murder, Five Nights at Freddy's, Tropical Freeze. Ever since the first trailer for this game came out on the 16th of September 2020, I've been pretty excited to play this game. I wouldn't call myself a very big FNAF fan, but I was interested in this game because it looked new and fresh. You weren't just stuck in an office or a room or whatever this is. Now don't get me wrong, I love all the older games. The vast amount of secrets, endings, and anything that pushed the story forward really grabs you. But with Security Breach, the gameplay alone looked like there was so much more depth. You had an entire complex to explore with secrets and Easter eggs hidden everywhere. The main antagonist of the game, Vanny, looked like she would be very prominent and would be a real threat to the main character. And the parts of the story that were shown in the trailer made it seem like there would be a lot to unpack lore-wise, and there'd be rich, fulfilling endings that added even more to the FNAF story. I had very high hopes for this game, and on December 16th, 2021, it came out, and this game is a mess. First of all, why is this game 50 gigabytes? What? Now, my PC's pretty good. It's not insane, but it runs most games pretty well. But this game just runs awfully. Anything above low settings makes it look like a PowerPoint presentation. It takes about 5 minutes to load everything, and the graphics are just weird. And do not get me started on the bugs. This game has so many glitches that I genuinely cannot tell what's a bug and what isn't. Like, is this guy supposed to be here? Okay, also the animatronics have very strange AI. One minute they'll be chasing you at top speed and catching you pretty much instantly, and the next they'll be just walking around. I can literally stand behind a desk and they'll just walk away. Like, come on FNAF. When Hello Neighbor has better AI than you, you know there's something wrong. But despite all the bugs and the AI and the god-awful performance, I actually really like this game. It's really fun to play and I really like what I've seen so far. The gameplay is fresh and there's always something you're working towards. The characters have rich personalities and despite them being animatronics, they feel very human. Speaking of characters, it's time for MewZe's awesome character tier list. First up, Gregory. I hate this child. F tier. Freddy Fazbear. This guy sucks. C tier. Roxy is a stupid grey wolf and the worst character in the game. S tier. Montgomery Gator. More like Montgomery A tier. Glamrock Sheikah. More like f*** you. Vanessa looks like a subway worker. I love Subway. S tier. Vanny. Vanny is the main villain of the game. She appears like twice. F tier. The daycare attendant. Oh my god, can you go away please? Why can you just walk through walls? I've heard a lot of people say this game isn't scary and doesn't look like a FNAF game, and while I agree it doesn't have the same terrifying atmosphere as the older games and is much brighter and more colourful, it's still a FNAF game. Hiding and escaping from the animatronics is genuinely stressful and keeps you frightened. This game doesn't rely on the jump scares to make you scared. It's the feeling of being hunted. Also, anyone who says this game isn't scary clearly hasn't played the endoskeleton section. That shit is terrifying. And yes, the environment isn't exactly scary on the surface, but it really feels like it could be a real place designed for kids. Everything has this futuristic, retro theme that the developers pulled off really well. There's a whole laser tag section where you have to capture and defend 3 control points, and every single collectible looks like it could be official merchandise, along with these duffel bags that each give a new piece of information, whether it be something random or something that progresses the lore. Although I'll be honest, I hate when games do this. I cannot be bothered to read all this. Okay, spoiler alert, but the endings in this game are not very good. All the endings feel very abrupt and don't really reveal anything particularly interesting. I guess the spoiler alert Afton Ending is pretty cool, I guess, but it doesn't feel like it matters at all. William Afton shows up and is alive, because of course he is. He does some goofy voodoo magic on Freddy and then he gets chomped. This just doesn't feel right. It feels like the developers just kind of threw him in there for fan service and to try and link this game to the rest of the series. But I don't know, maybe MatPat can come up with a way that this makes sense. I also don't really like the comic book style of these endings. I get that it's probably their creative vision or whatever, but it doesn't feel nearly as impactful as an actual cutscene. However, this game isn't fully finished yet, so I'm praying that they actually change this in the future. By the way, what is the deal with that? Why are we releasing the game when it's not finished? I know you promised it would be in 2021 or whatever, but like, you can still delay it. I'd rather have a delayed game that actually works rather than have a rushed game that is just unfinished and buggy and all of this. It's gotten way too common for games to do this, and I really don't like it. But I mean, hey, game funny, run around, Freddy Fazbear, bad, you know. So the game is buggy and runs badly. The story is limited by the lack of content from Vanny and Afton, and the endings are kinda bad, but it's also really fun to play and is actually pretty scary. Should you spend $40 on this game? No. But if you enjoy spending way too much money on furry robot games, then this might just be for you. Security Breach gets 7.5 MewZe points out of 10. Thank you for watching. Click the subscribe button if you love Freddy Fazbear.